What's going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you are now entering the Cinema Chop Shop. So park your ass right there. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the subscribe button. Also, if you check the link below, you see a Patreon account. Man, loud LA. You check it, you click it, you become a member. All you gotta do is try, recommend music, movies, and trailers for me to react to. Now, with that being said, we are here today with the 2021 film, brand new, Shudder exclusive horror movie. It's been getting buzz everywhere. Well, in regards to, the horror community. This movie is called Fried Berry. The director and the writer is by the name of Ryan Kruger. I believe he's from Cape Town, South Africa. I think this might be one of his first full-length films. Could be wrong, but I know he has produced a lot of shorts. Now, the main actor in this movie is a man by the name of Gary Green, who's also a stuntman and a model. Gary Green does an amazing job in this freaking movie. Like, amazing job. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that later. This movie, Fried Berry, is based on the 2017 short that shares the same name. And the synopsis of the movie is about this man who's a freaking drug addict. He's a heroin drug addict. And he basically goes, during one of his trips or during one of his high sessions, he somehow gets abducted by aliens. His body gets possessed. And the alien basically takes his body for a joyride. So the movie is basically following all the adventures that Fried Berry or Barry goes on. Now, let's talk about the good in this movie. The good in this movie, off top, Gary Green does an amazing job. As a junkie, he does an amazing job as Barry. His facial expressions, the things that he does, like the way that he carries himself is just, it's so authentic. Honestly, he can play a ridiculously good madman in some sort of movie. I'm kind of mad that he didn't utilize his potential to what I felt like it could have been, but we'll talk about that a little later. But Gary Green knocks it out of the park as Fried Berry. Hands down, can be one of the most iconic faces within this franchise. Like, if this becomes a franchise or this makes more movies or this becomes a cult classic, Gary Green's face is going to be plastered everywhere because his character alone is what makes this movie what it is, right? The score of the movie is fantastic. Whoever they got to score this movie did an amazing job. I forgot to look that up beforehand, but whoever scored this movie, top notch, great job. Every freaking music scene or score, the time the score hits or the music comes in, it amplifies the scene. It makes the scene a lot more authentic and a lot more powerful. It basically amplifies everything that's in this movie. Like the scene with the alien abduction, I already told you that that's what it's about. It's in the synopsis. The music that plays during that process really makes you kind of uneasy, and it kind of like really makes the situation a lot more tense than what I felt like it would have been if there was like no music at all, right? Or if it would have just been like all audio, or if it would have just been like maybe some like light, some synth music. This, I'm telling you, the score amplifies everything in this movie. Also, I have to give Ryan Kruger credit. His visuals are amazing. He does a freaking fantastic job at making visuals, color scenes, face shots, POV. Looks like he has a shaky cam in there somewhere. He's really good at creating a scene and also at creating the aura that he wants in that scene. He did a really good job at that, at like making the scene with the visuals. He made the visuals amplify the scene, and he made it very, very artsy. You can tell that there was a lot of art behind the scenes in this movie, which is also a good thing. It makes everything that much more appealing to the eye. So there's a lot of eye candy in this movie, in my opinion, in specific scenes. Let's talk about a little bit of the bad, the things that I'm not very wasn't too keen on, or my gripes per se. This movie felt like a bunch of short movies kind of glued together. It just was like Barry was jumping from one place to another, to another, to another. It just felt like an incohesive story. It was like all over the place. And I know this is supposed to be an alien taking Barry's body for a joyride, and Barry can end up anywhere in Cape Town, and that's kind of what happens. And it's like this wild, wicked adventure. But sometimes, like I said, the pacing just seemed all over the place. You're here, you're there, you're here, you're there. It really kind of didn't really tell a cohesive story for me. And it makes the movie feel kind of scattered. Also, the movie has a vibe as if it's a music video. And when I was watching it, I'm like, yo, this kind of has the essence of a music video. Like, it feels like it'll be a dope ass music video. Come to find out that Ryan Coogler used to direct music videos. So it's kind of, I can kind of see the music video style within this movie. And I mean, like I said, the scattered idea kind of makes you like, it takes you in and out of the movie. Like, some adventures are a lot more interesting than others. I also feel like this movie suffered from taking itself a little too seriously. I feel like, honestly, if it would have went for a more comedic horror route, I think that it would have amplified the story and made it a lot much. I would think it would have made it a lot better to me. If I could give an example, maybe something like Uncle Peckerhead, Psycho Goreman, things like that. How movies like that are coming out and they're like horror comedies, and they tell a funny story while also keeping it gory and fun and entertaining. I feel like this movie probably could have added a little bit more comedy in it, especially because comedy is one of the main tags, but I didn't really find this movie as funny as I thought it was going to be, right? So it has some moments where it's funny. Like, Barry does some really funny shit with the alien possession, but it's not as funny as it could have been. Like, I feel like there could have been so much more shit in here that would have just been knock out the park, ballpark, just funny, right? I really think that they should have just took a page out of like Psycho Goreman and Uncle Peckerhead, who, in my opinion, those are films that are straight up cult classics, off top. Like, they're in that genre already. This film is kind of like pushing towards it. The film feels like it's aiming to be a cult classic, but to me, it feels like kind of like one of those artsy grindhousey type of films, right? Or what's the word? Avant-garde. What else? It does a lot of unnecessary things, in my opinion, for shock value. There's things in this movie that take place that to me were like kind of unnecessary. So there were scenes where I'm just like, okay, like, I get you did that. I guess to have us with the visual to kind of like cringe. And yeah, you do cringe. You do like kind of like, ugh. You kind of look away at certain times, and it's just like, but a lot of it, like I said, seems really unnecessary. Like, you're just like, why did you do that? Like, there's like really no purpose to do this. It just seems like you just did it just to do it. Like, me personally, I don't necessarily understand why they did it. So that's just me. Like I said, I'm completely lost within the realm of like, what the fuck is going on here. Yeah, I think that sometimes the shock value kind of like takes you away. And shout out to Ryan Coogler for kind of like promoting one of his other films in here. I think it's called Meow 2. And he kind of promoted on the commercial that's playing in the background of the movie. Shout out to them for doing that. That was actually a pretty smart idea. I kind of wanted to see the Meow 2 short. We'll see where it ends up landing. Let's see what else. Gary Green has a potential, in my opinion, to be a freaking dope villain or killer or something like that. This whole movie I was watching and I'm waiting for this dude to just start gutting people or killing them or ripping heads off. And, you know, like, because you're an alien, you land in the country, and then there's one scene in particular, I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is, but I was like, okay, we're finally going to see Barry just like let loose. Like, we're going to see this alien inside of Barry, and he's going to let loose. Let me see what he can do. And you know, you don't really, I don't know, like, I feel like the alien should have been more aggressive versus a lot more passive. He was really passive. He was kind of forgiving. He was kind of caring. And I mean, that's not like really what I'm here for. Like, I really thought that it was going to be like kind of like this alien's going to come and he's going to be like, yo, humans ain't shit. Start gutting and goring people left and right. But, you know, that's not the way that it ended up panning out. And, you know, I felt like maybe it should have. But this fool, Gary Green, has the face of a killer, all right? So Ryan Coogler, if you're going to do another movie with this man, please, please, please give this man a machete or a knife or an axe, any damn weapon, and let him go gutting people, because he has the face for it. Yes, he has the damn face for it. So overall, I didn't hate this movie, and I didn't love this movie. It's a very, very artsy film, and I feel like sometimes it tries a little too hard to be something unique, or to kind of like cater to like the gore audience, or cater to certain audiences, like people that watch movies for shock value alone. Like, I mean, if you want to be a shock film, I guess, bro. But at the end of the day, I think that shock films add little to no value to the movie community other than like notoriety. You know, you get watched just because people say, "Oh shit, have you seen this movie?" You know, I feel like your movie should probably add a little bit more quality to itself. But here on the Cinema Chop Shop, we grade movies in 3 ways now, because I was talking to some people and it's just like, and I've been thinking about it myself. I needed to add like a 3rd category. It's either you're bodied, you basically get spared, or you end up in limbo, and which is somewhere in the mid range, which is like, you know, meh, mediocre, más o menos, you know, all that good stuff. Not impressed. So this movie, like I said, I didn't love it and I didn't hate it, so it's going to land in limbo. It's getting a big fat meh.
Not quite my tempo.
Not impressed.
But it can be better.
Mediocre.
Meh.
But the TV gave me the impression that...
We said meh. M-E-H. Meh.
Yeah, you heard it, folks. This movie was kind of mediocre. It was okay. It's something that you could watch. If you were into like artsy films, definitely give it a watch. The fucking soundtrack is amazing. It's something I would recommend, you know, at least watching, like just to say that you saw it. But is it something that I would say that you need to have and own inside your library? Not really. Is it something that you need to go and buy a Shudder, what is it called? Membership in order to watch it? Not really. I mean, it's okay. It's not like something, it's not as good as I really thought it was going to be. It was okay. It was okay. It's just okay. All right. So that's my review. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you disagree, whatever the case may be. Drop it in the comments section down below. And you are now exiting the Cinema Chop Shop. Have a great day. Adios.